She's the midnight mistress of fairies and dark mischief. He's the paranormal beacon of mystic fairs and government leaking. If the dark side had a prom, they would be the king and queen. They live the metaphysical and make a wicked awesome team. From every single culture in every corner of the globe, they creep the lore and legends just to keep you in the know. For some it's hyperbole, fantastical and myth. For them it's all too real and your paradigm will shift. It's forever Halloween with all treats and no tricks. He's got a thing for witches and she's all Stevie Nicks. So welcome to our carnival of the weird and the bizarre, where UFOs and curses take shape beneath the stars. Sit back, relax, open your mind and stay a few. It's time for John and Stacey, and do we have something for you? Welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow with your host, John and Stacey Edwards of ParanormalSideshow.com. Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And we almost had a forest fire.
We did.
I will go ahead and I will take full responsibility for this one.
It was your fault.
It was, yes. A couple weeks ago, made a candle. I didn't make a candle. I put bay leaves in a candle jar. A cheap $1 candle jar.
Yes.
Because I like the ambiance. I like the ambiance of the bay leaves.
It smells good when you burn bay leaves.
It smells cool. It's like, it smells like a witch shop or something. It just smells cool, you know? Oh, welcome to the metaphysical shop. I hope you like the smell. You know, it smells.
Places smell great.
Yeah, they smell wonderful.
Yeah.
They smell wonderful. Witches smell good. Don't believe the hype. They don't smell like hags. I'm just telling you. Witches smell choice. They smell choice. So I mean, it was one of those deals, you know, like, yeah, this will be cool. And then the candle blew up a few weeks ago. So this time I was like, I'm gonna build like a pyre.
Keep it more centralized.
Yeah, I took a lot of time, put all the leaves in a circle and had them all facing up. And
I would like to point out I was not in the room at the time.
Yeah, she wasn't here yet. So I lit that with, you know, knowledge that this would work because I am man and I know how to build good fire. So basically what I found out.
It just burned really tall. Yeah. Like way up.
It was terrifying.
Yes.
It was terrifying. To the point that I asked Stacey to blow it out. And because the trajectory was bad for my face.
Yes, he was like, you come blow this out. I was like, why can't you blow it out? You're right there.
It was just because I was too close to it. It's like I needed. It was like the whole, you know, take the high ground. I've got the high ground, Anakin.
It's fine. But it's all under control. We're good.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good now. What we're not good about is we thought it was spring.
Yes.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be spring. Surprise.
Yep.
You know, a couple years ago, got used to the Northeast pretty quick. We didn't have frozen ponds. We didn't have permafrost and all this crap down south. We just didn't have it, right?
Right.
It didn't affect my cells in my Bruce Wayne job. Hashtag Bruce Wayne job. It didn't affect my cells. And up here, you know, I pride myself on being the best, man. I pride myself on being really good at hashtag Bruce Wayne job. And, you know, but the problem is, you do really good, and then all of a sudden the sky decides to drop 2 feet of snow.
Oh wow! With so much snow,
with just little to no warning.
Yeah.
So then I think it's over, right? And then coming up here in just a couple of days, guess what? Over a foot of snow.
Oh, good gracious!
It's just, I mean, come on, winter, go home. You're drunk. You are drunk. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe our neighbor's doing like a snow dance.
You know he is. You know he is. And you know what? I think it's a couple, because the other day when it snowed, I noticed the man in that machine, that contraption.
That very, very loud contraption.
Yeah, it's horrible. But then I looked out and it's like he had tagged off and made the hot tag, and the woman was in there. And she's even worse than he is. Like, she's meticulous. It's just like, oh, we got to clean the sidewalks. City might not come by. Let's get this house.
Wow.
Maybe they'll pay us. It's just everywhere. And it's a system they've got. I mean, it's just a system. They 24 hours a day. I believe if it would keep snowing, they would keep going.
Yes.
That's like that should be their motto. Like they should have that over the when you walk in the house on the floor mat. Don't you think?
Probably.
If it's snowing, we're still going. Something like that.
It's a good motto.
Maybe that could be like a company. We should go talk to them. Like, if it's snowing, we'll keep going.
Let's not encourage them.
No, we really shouldn't. They don't need a company. They would kill people. And obviously, they listen to the show.
Probably.
Because they don't ever touch our house. Never. They don't touch anything at our house. They touch everybody's house.
Yep.
You know all these people ain't paying them.
I don't know.
It's like somebody's tipped them off, smartened them up. But oh well, we get another day of getting to listen to it here in a couple of days, and hopefully that's it. Hopefully so. After that, spring will sprung and sprung and all that good stuff. It's time to come, man. I'm telling you. But hey, I will tell you something really neat. We've sold quite a few of our Scientists Are Baffled shirts.
Yes, we have. People like that one.
Yeah. So we've got a whole litany of t-shirts at our shop, and we link that on on the website. We link that on our Facebook and everywhere else, which I'll probably talk about here in a second. But I just wanted to say, just so everyone knows, I don't shill just for shilling's sake. It's only stuff we really like and dig, like the Scientists Are Baffled, because we say that so many times.
We do.
But it goes to it's not going to our pockets. So any proceeds made off this go to a very good cause, other than my pockets, just so you know. And then you know what? I might actually talk about what that good thing is sometime. I don't know.
Perhaps.
There's aliens that need love too out there. So with all the snow and the thunder snow and the crazy snow, when I see thunder snow, I just think of AC/DC, and it's just, it'd be like, wow, 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 thunder. Like every time I see it on a news report, thunder snow. But I'm surprised God bless, we're never going to have that again.
No.
We'll have Axl Rose trying to do AC/DC.
Oh.
Be like, thunder snow, just not the same. But because of the thunder snow and the snow and Snowbar the Barbarian, we stayed in this weekend. We did. Because there wasn't much to really do.
No, it's very cold.
And with staying in, we decided to just randomly pick a horror movie to watch. Because we do that. And I really liked it. I thought we should talk about it. But here's the funny thing about it. When we looked it up, to maybe give a little bit more on the story of it, because it said it was based on a true story, which normally means it's loosely based on a true story, such as it occurred in Spain or something. Right. But it was a subtitle. You know how much we love subtitled movies. But it was called Veronica, and so we found this organically. Like we were just looking at horror movies, and it was like late at night, and it was just like, I was like, yeah, let's watch this one. And it was really good. It was great. It was really good. It had, it's your, run of the mill, like, hey, let's get a Ouija board. Girls play with Ouija board. Said girls get possessed. That kind of stuff, right? The age old favorite of mine. Any kind of possession movie I love, right? Especially possession movies. That's like my favorite horror movies. But anyway, we were watching that, and then afterwards, hey, let's talk about it, We looked it up, and what do we find? It's pretty popular right now. Yeah, it's crazy popular, and it's got a lot of buzz to it, which was very strange, because that's not the reason we watched it. Right. But a lot of people are saying that it's really scary, and I didn't... I thought that it was creepy. Yeah, but it wasn't... definitely creepy, but I didn't feel like it was scary like that. Yeah, maybe when you live this stuff, it's not as... Maybe, but it is loosely based on a true story, and that does make it scary. Yeah, it does. In a way. Kind of like the Exorcist movie is scary because it really happened. Right. But it was a great movie. Yeah. I really liked it. Yeah, and Exorcist even is loosely based. It, it was a boy, right? So, right. It's just completely loosely based. So anyway, it's like a John and Stacey suggestion. I thought we can give it like 3 boos out of 5. And I don't know, boos. Boos doesn't sound very good. No, I don't like boos. It's like, that's more like boo, boo, you suck, boo. That kind of hiss thing, tomato throwing. Yeah. Maybe 3 bearded ladies. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, 3 bearded ladies sounds cool. Okay. Out of 5. Yes. And if you are a bearded lady, there's no offense there. No. We're the Paranormal Sideshow. That's right. We love you. It's just a sideshow thing. Absolutely love you. You probably got a very glorious beard. In fact, I'd say you're very popular in yuppie crowds right now. That's pretty cool. And if you're also like listening to some cool folk music right now because it's trendy, then good on you. Good on you, Birkenstock wearing bearded lady. You fit right in right now, wouldn't you? Just fit right in. They probably wouldn't even know. That's pretty cool though. And speaking of that, something cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you to see Marilyn Manson.
Oh, I can't wait.
After all these years.
I know.
After all these years, you want to see Marilyn Manson.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Hopefully he'll make it through the whole show.
I hope so.
And not have some tirade or some fit of rage or burst into flames or whatever's been happening lately. You know, hopefully you get to see the whole show. But the cool thing is you're also going to get to see Rob Zombie.
Yes, that's cool.
And Rob Zombie is one of my favorite concerts to go to because I went to White Zombie at the Christian Apocalypse show in like 96.
Right.
If you go look it up on the internet. It happened at Bristol, Tennessee, our old home.
Right.
And it was supposed to happen in Johnson City, Tennessee, but they canceled that show. Viking Hall was like, yeah, we'll have them. And then every church in the that Church Alliance, buddy, they came out. And I was on the news, like the news was watching, and I'm standing there waiting to go in, you know, and it was so great. And I was just like, you know, and all this stuff. It was a hell of a show because there was this great feeling in the show because all these people were there and you weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Protested.
Yeah, like you felt like this one collective unit that was against all these people who didn't understand you.
Right.
And
the parents and the older people,
right.
the man or whatever.
It was like satanic Footloose. That's the only way I can like tell you. It was like if the parents on Footloose had an actual good legitimate beef about canceling the dance, okay? Right. Because you're standing out there and I know the shirt I was wearing from back then, it was all full of pentagrams, right? It was and it was all in fun for me.
Right.
Exactly the reason we got that first demon with us, because it was all in fun with me.
Right.
You know, I didn't believe any of that. I invoke stuff. I don't care. It's not real. This is cool artwork, right?
Right.
And so looking back now, I kind of get it. At the time in the third notch of the Bible Belt, why they would be a little bit worried.
The problem is them doing all that protesting just made kids want to go even more.
It's a great show, and he's a great performance, and you know, so I think it'll be a really cool
it'll
deal.
Be fun. I can't wait.
You know, I know my list of concerts that I really, really break my neck to go see if they happen, and it's so funny because it's such an eclectic list that you know, there's Faith No More.
Right.
Absolutely. Like 500-mile radius. Just, you know, let's go. Tool.
Yes. I would love to see Tool.
Any incarnation of Zeppelin.
Right.
You know, the Robert Plant's like playing in Portland or played in Portland, which is right down the street from us. But it was like $200 a seat. I just can't, I can't do that. No. Not when you're popping Geritol, you know, not when you've given up the good stuff from the 70s for, you know, it's like Quaalude, Robert. No. Yeah, just give me Geritol, you know. I would just be seeing him out of, you know, same reason I see most of people, just because it's them.
Right.
You know, kind of like Danzig. Danzig would be on that list. Just because, you know, all those years of, even when I had a band, how every song I had kind of sounded like, Mother, tell your children not to wow, you know, all this stuff. And I had so many, yeah. It's a you know, it's a niche. It's cool stuff. But this is one of those concerts for you. I know your list involves Marilyn Manson, the Foo Fighters. That's as far as I know. That's as far as I know. I can't even think of anybody else other than Marilyn Manson and the Foo Fighters.
That's fine. We'll stick with those.
There is nobody else, is there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people I would like to see in concert, but not anybody I have to go see. Yeah. Other than them.
You love you some Dave Grohl.
I'm a huge Dave Grohl fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. But speaking of that, if you do like Foo Fighters, and I'm talking about the things that chased the fighter jets in World War II, not the band,
right?
then you might find them. ParanormalSideshow.com. That's your address to find everything UFO. Facebook.com/ParanormalSideshow. UFO on the Twitter, it's at Sideshow97, where there's a heaping helping of UFOs. On Instagram, Hot UFO Damn, it's John and Stacey Edwards. YouTube.com/Paranormal Sideshow, folks. And if you're listening to the podcast and if you don't like where you're listening to it and you're like, I hate this place, I want to listen somewhere else, well, you can listen to it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and anywhere else you like to listen. That's where we're at, and we're watching you. And so is the UFOs, you mofos. And that's how it goes, yo. But, also, gotta ask you again, folks. Gotta ask you again. Just as a friend. Reaching my hand out again here. I'm reaching my hand out.
He really is.
Please,
actually.
please follow us on the Twitter. On the Twitter, it's at Sideshow97. So if you got a tweeter, and hopefully most of you have a tweeter, it might look different. His tweeter looks different than her tweeter, but you both have tweeters, and I need you to actually pull them suckers out and follow at Sideshow97, and on Instagram, Hot Tweeter Damn, I have to say it whenever it comes on, John and Stacey Edwards. Just get on there, like it, break into your neighbor's house. Oh, you didn't want me to break into people's houses.
No.
Okay, find their doors when it's opened and walk in and do it, or go ask for some sugar or something. People still do that?
I don't know. They don't do that here.
Okay, so here's our challenge. We have to go to the neighbors and ask if they have any sugar we can borrow.
You want me to go to that lady next door?
Oh, please.
The creepy old lady?
Yeah, the creepy old lady with the fairy garden. The legitimate fairy garden. The lady that I'm pretty positive has children up in her attic. Yeah, that one. That lady.
I'm not sure she has a computer.
Yeah, you think? If she does, it takes up a whole wall. It's like beep boo, beep boo, beep boo, all kinds of flashing lights and stuff. It's like it's got Leonard Nimoy over there in a chair with a headset on, turning around, his eyebrow going up. Excuse me, Captain. I mean, that's the kind of computer she would have. I love those Star Trek computers, man. I love them. It's just like, they can hit whatever they want, right?
They're so colorful.
I think somebody should go back and see if they had the same incident happen.
Right.
Like, hey, we need to raise the shields to 4 or whatever. Sorry, sorry, Trekkies. If I have that wrong, but see if they hit the same button or not.
Oh wow, that's continuity.
Yeah,
see if there's some continuity.
See what the continuity's like, because you watch any of those old sci-fis,
right?
And they have all those like flashing lights and flashing buttons,
right?
Because the astronauts are so smart, they're going to remember all those without labels, and it just looks like a bunch of like nipples you're twisted all over the place. It's just like, I would like to go back and see the continuity on that. Did they always hit the right thing? Did they hit the right thing?
Oh, that's a challenge for you right there.
It'd be pretty interesting though, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Because we have enough time for that.
Well, yeah, you never know. Anyway, I think it's about time for some paranormal news.
Okay, so let's get to the news.
Let's.
All right, so this first story is kind of an update.
Kind of an update?
Yes, well, it's a full-on update.
Oh, all right.
It's about the out-of-control Chinese space station that is set to smash into Earth. It's been falling.
Wait a second.
Out of control.
How long has that son of a bitch been falling?
For a long time.
Where's it falling from?
Somewhere
like Uranus?
in space.
I mean, seriously.
It's been a long time.
I know it's been a long time.
Well, it's the Tiangong 1. And it was actually launched way back in 2011, and we talked about it, how they actually lost control of it.
It's like being attacked by a tree sloth. That's what it's like. It's like that tree sloth is pretty angry, and his bite can kill you. Here he comes. He's still coming. 2 weeks later, he's almost on you. And of course, the tree sloth's going to be really pissed by the time he gets to you.
Well, right, because it took him so long.
I don't know what they sound like. I can only imagine it's something like, but it sounds like some kind of weird kind of like seahorse or something. But you know what I forgot about seahorses?
What?
I was watching this for whatever reason, this GIF on seahorses.
Right.
Because I was trying to find a GIF about the seahorse that was on SpongeBob where they couldn't figure out where to stick the quarter.
Stick the quarter. We gotcha.
Yeah. And then it goes off screen and you hear them. So I was trying to find that GIF to send to Ariana.
Right.
And instead I found seahorses like where they push their stomach and like, and then all the little seahorses fly out.
Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never seen that?
No, but I'm gonna have to search it now.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's almost like they give sphincter birth. You know, like if you have real bad, like if you went to if you went to Taco John's yesterday,
right?
You know, and they didn't exactly meet their safety standards. It was like a 73 score. You know, they're trying to hide that 8x10, and
it's like a mysterious smudge over the first number.
Right. Thank you for your service. We scored a Band-Aid. So later that night, you may be sitting there reading your latest Stephen King book while you're like, and I'm going to try, and it's kind of like that vomit kind of feel, except anyway, that's how the seahorse looked.
Right.
And the seahorse is like, and it's like all kinds of seahorses, all kinds of seahorses.
How many do they give birth to
at
one
God.
time?
I guess millions. I don't know. It was really disturbing.
I have no idea how we got from Chinese space station to seahorse birth.
Because of that.
I mean,
because of that really mad sloth.
I feel like that's the fastest you've ever gotten off subject before. I mean, I think it's a new record.
Well, you know, it's a Sunday afternoon. Give me a break.
Okay. So anyway, back to the, we're going to search that seahorse thing later.
Back to life, back to reality.
So they actually lost control of this space station back in 2016, in March of 2016.
It's coming.
And they didn't actually admit it until September of 2016 because amateur skywatchers had started noticing that something was not quite right.
Was slowly not right.
Exactly.
They're like, I don't think that's okay.
So they've known for a while now that it was coming back to Earth. So they've decided that on their estimation, it's likely going to re-enter the atmosphere as early as March 24th, up to as late as April 19th. And they said that they've kind of narrowed it down to somewhere between the 43rd degree north latitude and the 43rd degree south latitude.
So one of those is us.
The north one's pretty close.
Yeah.
It goes up about as high as Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
The funny thing is it's a very wide area. Like they haven't really narrowed it down.
Oh my God.
Because they said it's anywhere in between there, but other areas couldn't be excluded. And
it'd be crazy. Like if it hit Cleveland, I wonder if they would know.
I don't know. Well, they said it's really based a lot on, the atmosphere and, things, space storms, things like that can all change. So that's why they can't really predict exactly where it's going to come down. And I mean, we're talking about all the way up from where, Buffalo is all the way down below Africa, below Australia.
Right.
Almost all of South America. Well, very wide area.
The good money would still be on water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously. Now, originally, they planned to deorbit it by using some thrusters and having it break up over the Pacific Ocean. But of course, they've lost all the telemetry. They have no control over it. And they feel like most of the pieces will burn up in the atmosphere.
So is this like a Chinese ruse? Is this like some kind of Chinese finger trap? Are they really just doing this to bomb New York?
they're just dropping a space station on us.
Yeah, they're like we're so sorry. We
have no idea.
We are so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. I know you have to be mad right now. But our space station is going to totally drop on you.
So you feel like they do have control of it.
But we didn't mean to do it. We totally didn't mean to do it. I swear on my kids' lives.
Well, they said that they believe that most of it will burn up when it re-enters, but there are parts that may reach the ground. So it's worth knowing where that sucker's coming down, and it's soon.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
So definitely
be a good time to get like satellite falling app or something. You can make a quick buck, right?
That's right.
It's like we're going to track where it's going to come down. I mean, the worst. Okay, here's the thing. If you don't get hit, you're probably not going to try to get a refund, right?
Right.
If you do get hit, you're probably not going to try to get a refund.
So they've just made money either way.
It's like we'll have the alert go off if it's going to be in your proximity. You see what I'm saying?
Everybody's alert goes off.
Yeah. And if somebody doesn't die, even if it was like 2 doors down, we'll be like, look, we knew where it was going to land, dude.
we knew that it wasn't going to hurt you. Yeah, I mean, your neighbors are going to get hurt, but we knew that it wasn't going to hurt you. Had you been 2 doors down, your alert would have went off. That's the truth, and Bob's your uncle.
There you go.
All right.
All right, well, let's move on.
Let's.
So this next story is another story written by the guy that brought us all the information on that mysterious airplane over Oregon.
It sounds like the start of a movie. Brought to you by that guy who had the mysterious airline over Oregon.
His name is Tyler Rogaway.
From the same company that brought you. Sorry.
Well, you remember the article is very detailed.
Yes, we went back to it. We did that story twice. You liked it so much.
Freedom of Information Act. Yeah, because he got all the extra information. Well, this is a different story about a Learjet and an Airbus that had a strange encounter over Arizona.
Wow.
And so what happened was this is back on February 24th. Mm-hmm. And roughly between 3:30 p.m. and 4:15 p.m.
February 24th this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just recently. The Learjet belonging to Phoenix Air and an American Airlines flight had independent close encounters with a strange craft flying at around 40,000 feet.
Right.
So they were both flying at about 37,000 feet. Right?
Okay.
And it was between the Sonoran Desert National Monument and the New Mexico border.
Ah.
Okay.
A lot of stuff happens there.
And when you look at this article, there actually is all the audio that he acquired from this interaction. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So the way it started was the pilot of the Learjet asked the control center if there was some other traffic that was flying above him. And the controller replied, no, told him, no, there was no traffic. And he said, no, there was something. It flew over me going the opposite direction. So then the controller got the hold of the other airline who was in the same, airspace, just, 15 miles back and said, let me know if something flies over you.
Right.
And so the pilot was like, okay. And so a few minutes later, he comes back. He's like, yeah, something flew over us. I don't know what it was. It was going in the opposite direction.
Crazy. It's crazy to listen to all the audio because, like Stacey said, when the first guy does it, he's just like, tower, blah, blah, blah. It's like, is there anything flying over us? And it had they had that good pilot voice, where it's kind of like always, yeah, tower, is there anything flying over us right now? And they come back, and of course with the top-notch equipment, they still sound the same. It's like, yeah, that's a negative effect. And he's like, flying over you. And he's like, yeah, I'm just letting you know, tower. This something did fly over us, yeah. And then you hear one guy, I love the other guy. You hear this one guy in the background going, UFO. And it's just out of nowhere, right? It's just out of nowhere. This one,
and they're kind of like covering the microphone. Like,
yeah, this one dude, like the co-pilot or some dude that's just like in the cabin or whatever. He's just like, UFO, And you could tell they're like slapping him. They're like, shut up, Tim, And he comes back, he's like, yeah, just letting you know. So then you hear the air traffic control person, as you're saying, and he gets a hold of an airplane on down the line, right?
Right.
And he's just, yeah, that's it. Because you never understand the marbles in their mouth.
Right.
That's what pilot training is. It's really easy to fly a plane.
Right.
Deciphering what the tower's saying.
I see.
Is the true.
It's like a major part of it.
That's the true genius. So it's just like, and he's like, oh yeah, just could you be watching for something coming over? That guy even was like,
yeah,
something coming over us, like your mom, and I mean that's the way it sounded, and then just a few minutes later, it's kind of like, yeah, tower. Something did fly over us. And then even on that one, I swear to God, there's a guy that's like, UFO!
Yeah, there's that guy in the background.
So there's the one guy on every plane, obviously, that's just good. He's not going to care about covering anything up. That's the guy that gets pushed out.
He's the guy that's not actually flying the plane. He's sitting in the back of the cockpit doing some kind of something back there. It's somebody's
cousin. It's like it's a stewardess's cousin that the stewardess that's banging the pilot. She's like, my cousin's kind of interesting, and he's always wanted to be on an airplane. He's always wanted to be on an airplane. I love airplanes. And so, would you care if he comes, please, Steve? Because the pilot's Steve.
Of course,
he's got to be Steve. It's a good pilot name. And so Steve's like, oh yeah, Cherry, no problem. You know, so that's the guy that's sitting in the seat. He's got like extra buckles on,
Right.
and he's back there. He's just like UFO, UFO. I want an airplane. I like airplanes. So anyway, that's my reenactment
I gotcha.
of what happened.
Well, also the tower did actually ask the airplane pilot if it was moving or just hovering. Like they had no idea what this thing was.
Right.
And the pilot said that he couldn't really tell. It was too far away. And then they didn't really talk about it anymore. They did ask if they thought it was a balloon.
Yeah.
And the pilot said it was doubtful. And then, of course, you can hear the UFO guy in the background, of course.
Yeah, because the one guy asked if it was a Google balloon.
Yeah, and so the whole thing only lasted about 6 minutes. And when the author...
You talking about the pilot and Cherry? Or the UFO encounter?
No, the UFO encounter.
Oh.
So according to the FFA representative, that is the author...
It's got something to do with the elevation, Cherry.
the
When you're somewhere around 30,000 feet, it's just hard. Gravity plays tricks.
That is too much information. So the article, yes, the guy who wrote the article, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
He was talking to an FFA representative. The representative said he didn't think that the incident was written up and noted that the supervisor at the center didn't even know about it.
Really?
When he was asked. So that's a little odd.
Really?
Yeah. And of course, the area that it happened in is very well known for a lot of military activity.
That's the only thing it's known for.
Yeah, like there's tons of military
Come see
bases
New
around
Mexico. you might spot a UFO. I mean, what else? Name one thing real quick. New Mexico.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's newer than Old Mexico. I don't have any idea. What's New
UFOs.
Right.
But if I was to ask you, hey, you want to go? We've got 3 weeks. Let's go UFO spotting.
Right.
Tell me 3 states you would tell me to go.
They'd all be out west, like Nevada and New Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what they're known for. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not surprising that something like this would happen there.
It's not.
It's also not surprising that the FAA would cover it up.
Right.
FAA, if you're listening, I said cover it up. Because they're like, we didn't cover anything up, John. Yeah, you did. You know why? Because omission of the truth is still bad.
Well, you know, you can't rule out the fact that it might have been something military. You can't rule out the fact that it could be a weather balloon because there are a lot of those. They're not regulated. You know, they don't have to have radar and transponders, that sort of thing. But it's really odd. And it's odd that no report was written up about it because it was flying in airspace, you know?
Yeah, it was going the opposite way as they were. So it was going I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting. Maybe something will come out about it.
Well, he did say he's also filing another Freedom of Information Act. So if he does get any more information, we'll definitely see it.
So what's this cat's name again?
Tyler Rogaway.
So, you know, just to bring it back down and just make this serious. I know I had a little bit of fun there, but hey, thedrive.com is the website that this comes from. Amazingly well written and informative articles.
Yes, and they always put up all of the audio, everything that they have, they share it.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of fun. Thedrive.com, I would go there and check this out for yourself because you can also check out the strange encounter before the, you know, Oregon.
Yes, the one over Oregon. Yes.
Yeah, that happened. And, you know, just to put this all in perspective, really, we had another incident, another major UFO incident, no matter what you want to call it. It's a UFO because it's unidentified, it's flying, and 2 pilots. And, you know, this wasn't on the news. This only is out because of this, you know, because of this story, because of these people filing, you know, information requests.
Right.
It's crazy that otherwise you're just not going to hear all these stories.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's frowned on. I you know, I've seen stories before where people are like, yeah, you don't want us to talk about that stuff because if you do, you're a loony or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't care.
All right, so let's move on to the next story.
Yes.
So this is sort of another UFO story, and this one was sent to me by a listener. Thank you, Reba. And I actually hadn't seen this story, so it was really interesting.
Cool.
When she sent it. And so this
Can't believe you haven't seen it.
This is a local story from Washington, D.C. that was just done on a local news. And it was talking about something strange that was hovering in the sky last month, a UFO sighting.
Wow.
Basically. And the whole article is about UFO sightings in the area that have been reported to MUFON, and they actually did an interview with the MUFON representatives from Virginia. And the reason I went ahead and got the article, besides the fact that the sighting was pretty cool, is the way that the journalist treated it. It was very serious. It was a very serious article. They didn't make fun.
That's odd.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of, nudge, nudge, wink, wink silliness.
Well, they're in Washington, D.C., so they believe anything.
And it's actually really interesting. And towards the end of the article, they actually list a bunch of sightings that happened in that area over the last year or so.
Wow.
And so it's very interesting. And this is also the third article in a 3-part series by this same journalist for this network. And the part 1 was about a UFO conference they had in Maryland, which is very close. And then part 2 was about the Pentagon's thing, like breathing new life into UFO research. So I thought this was really interesting. Definitely an interesting read. You should go see it. But also because of all that stuff we were talking about recently about how they've been doing more UFO stories to kind of make it slow closure. To make it normal that they're talking about this.
Slow disclosure.
Yes. Slow closure is a different thing.
Yeah, slow closure. I actually, in my head, I knew slow disclosure, and I said slow closure. It's kind of like a little cute thing, but I was like, hold on a second. Slow closure is kind of like, I'm only going to look at your picture once today.
I'm only going to just peek at it very quickly.
I'm only going to cut for 10 minutes.
But anyway, I thought that was really interesting, and I appreciated the story being sent to us, so I wanted to go ahead and include
Awesome.
it.
No, I like it. It's a good story.
It's awesome. And speaking of UFOs still, there has been another video from the To the Stars Academy.
Oh.
A third one that they've released now that you can that you can go on their website and check out. They've got it in this section. They call it COI, the Community of Interest.
Yes.
Which is where they release all of their, verified UFO sightings from military or whatever. And this is the third one. They call it Go Fast. And you can watch the full video on there. It's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty crazy.
And this is the third of 3. So
yes,
until they get some more stuff, I guess. But yeah, this was, the cool thing about what they're releasing is it is 100% government issue. It's from, and this one's a little bit more recent. This is 2015.
It is. It is. Yes.
And this sighting is very cool because the pilots are really excited. That's one thing I love because it's real. It's like I seen somebody criticizing that. They're like, well, they didn't sound like pilots. Well, dude, when was the last time you saw a UFO? Okay, I don't care how trained you are. Yeah, and this really made me mad, dude. It made me hot. So I'm listening to one of the leading UFO YouTube channels. I'll just say that. Right. And this guy's on there, and he's just like, I don't know. I don't like the way that the pilots were so excited. It doesn't sound like well-trained pilots to me. And I'm thinking, dude, when was the last UFO you really saw?
Yeah, really?
Get your head off your computer and you tell me what you would do if you're flying a fighter jet, okay? You're flying top of the line, the fastest we can go. The humans in 100 years have went from, flying something you had to wind up and pray you didn't die in 30 feet to flying the state-of-the-art Top Gun looking, mother, right? So they're up there in just the nicest thing you could be in with all the targeting computers and all the infrared and all this ground penetrating, butt radar or whatever. And they're up there flying. And then there's something that makes them look like little sissy girls. Right. And it's just like, and they track it. Yeah, you know what? You're going to get a little excited. Yeah. There's no protocol for that.
Pilots are just people.
Yeah,
they're people. If they're trained.
They're people. So you see it, you're going to be like, whoa, 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 hey, oh my God, look at that, woohoo! And that's what they were like. And I love that. I love that. God bless you, pilots. Exactly. That did that, because that's what I would do. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to sit there and go, Roger, there's a, a button. There's a button off the lapel. A button off the lapel. That's what you know. The tie is a Windsor. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be like, holy shit. It's going to be, because it's a UFO.
That'd be like paranormal investigators going into a haunted house being like, oh, look, a full-bodied apparition staring at me. Isn't that cool?
Oh, wait. what is that, Stacey? Is that some kind of secretion? Is that hard evidence? Oh my God. Is it motioning for you to come over? Wait a second. What's this machine saying? I want to give you a secret of eternity. You know, I mean, and you're going to scream. You're going to be crazy. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just people kill me. The criticisms.
I know.
The criticisms.
It's so easy to criticize when you're just at home.
I've seen other criticisms. They're like, well, the video's too fast. Well, you know what?
Oh, we're sorry. We'll try and film the slow UFOs next time.
He's like, it was like because there's another one. I was like, he's like, oh, what happened before and what happened after? Well, the plane took off and then they landed. I mean, you know, I wanted to splice something together for this guy, like with stock footage, you know?
Heaven forbid they didn't know to start recording way before the UFO showed up.
Yeah. I mean, this was the good stuff. I don't know. It's very cool. Obviously it's real. And that's the neatest part of it is we don't have anything that does that.
Right.
And that's the real cool part of it. And yeah, I get off on tangents because people sometimes get too worried about the indicators instead of the results. And that happens in business, that happens in life. When you get hung up, and sometimes people fail to see that they have a rock star in their midst. You know what I mean? That they fail to see the total picture. Like, you know, this guy is the best. This guy rocks out loud. He does everything because maybe one thing's off. You know, maybe the video's too short.
Right.
Maybe what they're missing is the fact that there's a UFO from the United States government on this video.
Yep.
Just my opinion.
Yes, I agree with you.
But it just blows me away sometimes the things people this internet age. It's like they want you. It's like you almost have to have a contrary position, and it really bothers me. Like you don't see a lot of people post things and everybody go, oh hey, yeah, actually, yeah, that's really cool. I agree with that. You know, hey, DC's new movie just came out. Oh, okay, well let's give it a chance. All right, that's cool. Oh yeah, I liked it. Here's what I liked about it, rather than, oh, I don't know, that runtime being 158 instead of 210. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? I mean,
nitpicking
the
everything.
character development is going to happen in those 12 minutes. Jesus Christ. What are they thinking? You know, I get tired of it sometimes.
Yes, I agree. All right, so let's move on to the next story. We're going to move away from the UFO stuff for now.
Okay.
And we're going to go on to some discoveries.
All right, cool.
So this is a discovery about Amelia Earhart.
Oh, hopefully it's not like that special from TV.
No History Channel involved here.
Oh, okay.
So this
Poor
is
History Channel. I know, I love History Channel.
I do too.
I think that they have a lot to offer, as long as it's not an Amelia Earhart documentary.
Exactly. So this is actually a discovery made by Richard Jantz from University of Tennessee in Knoxville.
Go Vols.
And
hashtag real UT.
He is a professor of anthropology, and he's the director of UT's Forensic Anthropology Center. So what he's done recently is he has taken some measurements that were taken off some bones that were discovered on the island of Nikumaroro.
Was it Nikumaroro?
Yes. So this is the island that
of Nikumaroro.
A lot of researchers believe that Amelia Earhart crashed in the water and was a castaway.
Sounds like something that like an islander caused their rheumatism, you know? It's like, oh, okay, grandma. Oh, yes, it's just my Nikumaroro, you know?
So they found these bones like back in 1940 on this island, and the search party also discovered part of a shoe that they thought was a woman's, and some equipment and things that were similar to Amelia Earhart's equipment.
Right.
So it was always kind of guessed that maybe that was her, but they never had any proof.
Right.
So
everybody loves a good mystery.
Back in 1940, an anthropologist back then took some measurements, and he determined that the bones were from a male.
Yeah.
So what happened was Richard Jantz actually went back to that particular information, and he took those measurements because the bones are actually gone now. And all they had was about like 4 measurements, like skull, things like that.
What happened to the bones?
I have no idea. It just says the bones eventually disappeared. And it was the tibia, the humerus, the radius, and the skull. Those are the measurements that they had. And he took the measurements and he put them through this computer program that he actually helped develop. It's one of the leading programs that anthropologists use.
Of course it is.
To this day. And turns out that the bones have more similarity to Earhart than to 99% of the other individuals in this sample.
Right.
So he is convinced that those are Amelia Earhart's bones based on this study that he did. And he feels like it's definitive enough proof that somebody now has to come along and prove that it's not her. So, and he
was, la-di-da. I mean, good grief.
Well, and it's not that the original anthropologist was not good at his job. It's just that the technology is so much better now.
Absolutely.
So much better now.
Absolutely.
So it's really interesting.
And plus, more than likely, people were like, hey, we can't sell any books. We can't do any TV. As long as there's hope that she's still alive, we can put out this fantasy that she might have taken over an island and,
she's ruling it now.
Yeah.
So he actually published a study in the Journal of Forensic Anthropology, which there's a link for. You can go and look at it, but it's really, really interesting. And it was interesting that he thought to go back and do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. They solved the mystery of Amelia Earhart, supposedly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Finally.
It's about time, right?
Yeah.
It's about time. Okay, so this next story is about another discovery that I just thought was really interesting. And it's a mineral that they found in a tiny diamond that they've never seen before.
Why were they looking in the tiny diamond?
I don't really know. Doesn't go into that. I thought that too.
Okay.
Because it's a tiny diamond. And I thought, what possessed them to look at this one particular diamond?
Out of all the tiny diamonds.
I'm telling you, I have no idea.
There's a whole lot of redneck weddings with a lot of tiny diamonds.
I think what happened was when the diamond was polished.
I'm going to write a song called Tiny Diamonds.
I actually see
about rednecks being in love. Oh, tiny diamonds doesn't mean I love you less. Tiny diamonds, I really want to see you out of that dress.
Okay, so what happened was, I think it says when you polish the diamond, you could see the mineral with the naked eye. So I think they just didn't know what it was. And so they did some tests on it. And the odd thing about it is they theorize that this mineral exists and that it's really prevalent inside the earth, but it didn't last on the surface. And the only reason this particular sample did is because it was in the diamond.
Yeah.
And it gave them the opportunity to x-ray it and study it, which is super cool.
It really is.
I thought that was really awesome.
It's also cool they theorized that this mineral existed.
Yeah, and they'd not ever actually seen it. Yeah, so there you go. First sample of a never before seen mineral.
Very cool. Maybe that'll lead to something.
You never know.
Other than, they discovered a new mineral.
Possibly.
I still want to know why they were looking at the tiny diamond. That bothers me.
All right, so let's move on to some NASA news.
NASA.
NASA's got to get in there somewhere.
Never a straight answer.
So this is a story about how NASA is planning on using nuclear weapons to deflect asteroids. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I'll miss you, babe. And I don't want to miss a thing. Yeah, I love that movie. Well, you love that movie.
I love that movie. It's one of those,
I have to like it just from osmosis.
It's just one of those movies that if it happens to be on, I'll stop and watch it.
Yes, you will.
Yes, I will. And so what this is it's not actually something that's been built already.
Right.
Basically.
I bet we've had it for years.
Possibly. Basically, what happened was they asked for people to come up with ways to deflect asteroids. And this is something that's been proposed and that they are taking under consideration. And it's called the Hypervelocity Asteroid Mitigation Mission for Emergency Response.
Does it make a cool metaphor?
It does. It's HAMMER.
Of course.
I feel like that NASA employs somebody to sit around all day and think of acronyms for like missions and stuff that turn into words.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Russians will come up with one now called sickle. Do you come on, sickle?
All right. So basically the way that it would...
They'll just have something like a balloon with Putin's face on it. And they'll just be like... that they can just launch to space when the asteroid's coming. They'll show this computer animation of the asteroid going, oh no, and like turning left, as the big giant Putin heads in space.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's basically a spacecraft that has a nuclear weapon on it that is powerful enough to deflect an asteroid, and they actually have an asteroid called Bennu that they feel like they could use this on.
Poor Bennu.
Now, Bennu is a very small risk of colliding with the Earth. It is an actual asteroid. NASA actually has a list of 78 dates on which it has a tiny chance of colliding with Earth.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what they're going to do?
What's that?
They're going to hit this son of a bitch with this nuclear weapon, and it's going to actually hit Earth.
Well, supposedly the impact risk of this particular asteroid is 1 in 2,700.
That's pretty high.
It's a small but not impossible. So they say it's a really, really small chance. It's not for years and years, like 2035, like way in the future. But they want to be, I apologize, I said that wrong, 2135.
Oh, that's way in the future.
Yes. And so they want to be prepared. They want to have whatever system that they're going to have.
What a bunch of morons. Like our technology's not going to be
a lot better.
Yeah, we're even going to be on Earth by then.
Well, here's my problem with it is, you know how NASA is. If they're actually saying, hey, we need these plans because this might happen 150 years from now,
that means
something's going on. I'm sorry.
There's something gigantic coming to us right now.
Something's going on and they need some ideas and they're just not trying to freak people out. Yeah. So they've made the Armageddon machine.
I think they should use Space Putin.
I like Space Putin. That's a good idea. You should submit that. You know, I mean, they're taking ideas. So
are they?
Well, I mean, that's what that was. It was just an idea somebody submitted.
I would submit that, and they would explain to me how astronauts defecate. They'd be like, Space Putin. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's another story about NASA.
NASA.
Yes. NASA is actually launching a mission. It's called the Parker Solar Probe mission, and it's launching in summer of this year. Oh. And they are saying that you can submit your name to be placed on a microchip to go on the mission with the craft.
Very cool.
Yes. And so you go onto this website, and I actually did it because I wanted to see how the process worked.
Yeah.
And so they take submissions all the way up until April 27th. And all you do is you go to this link, which I'll put up, and you put in your first name, your last name, your email address. And then they'll send you an email, and all you do is click to confirm your submission. And then they even email you like this certificate that you can print out that says that it's like a big ticket, and it's like your name for the mission and stuff.
You'll have to go through all the astronaut training and all that stuff.
Well, no, your name's just on a microchip.
Oh, you don't actually get to go to space.
No, it's flying to the sun. Nobody's going.
Oh,
it's like getting as close to the sun or closer to the sun than we've ever been.
We could send relatives on that one and solve a lot of problems.
Well, I'll tell you, it was funny because I wanted to do this because I wanted to know what the process was like, so I could tell everybody if they wanted to do it, you know, what to do.
Right.
And then after I finished doing it, I was like, I don't know how smart it is to be on a list that the government agency owns. Like, nothing good can come from being on a government list.
No, there's no such thing as a good government list that I know of.
So now I am officially on this list, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. And you get
I guarantee you're already on a list.
I'm sure I am. Several of them, probably.
Yes.
So I'll put a link up for that. If you want to send your name to the sun, there's your chance.
I shake my fist at the sun too much to throw my name in there.
It's supposed to be a really good mission. It's supposed to tell them a lot more about the sun than they know currently.
Like wow, there's giant UFOs refueling from it.
Maybe, possibly.
That would be cool.
Oh, that's what's going to happen. A UFO is going to get the little microchip, and they're going to have a list of names. They're going to come to Earth and be like, we want all these people.
I hope they sound like that.
All right, so this next story is a ghost story.
Oh, cool. Finally.
From Argentina. Because it's got to have the obligatory Argentina story, apparently.
Yes, Argentina.
So this is a really cool story about a driver who claims that he picked up a ghost hitchhiker.
Oh, we know that story.
Actually has proof, supposedly.
Really?
Has proof, yes. So this man's name is Pedro Perón. He's from San Jose de la Esquina, Argentina.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and he was on the news because he was driving and he stopped to pick up a hitchhiker. Now, I think he drives a lot and he does pick up, like he likes to give people rides.
Right.
And this happened to just be like a teenager and the kid needed a ride. So he's like, yeah, get in the truck. And he asked him, you know.
Have they done background checks on Pedro?
He's very well known. Very well known in the community.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I like to pick up hitchhikers.
The only thing he knew
boys
about the kid that he picked up was that he was 17 and that he was from a local area.
Right.
And he said, well, how far do you want to go? And he said, well, I'll just tell you when to stop. Because he wasn't going all the way into town. So, Mr. Perón was driving, and finally the kid, when they got to this road that kind of veered off and went to the cemetery, the kid was like, okay, I'll get out here. And so the man slowed down and he said he smelled like this burning smell. And he was concerned because, you know, he thought his truck was on fire. So he got out of the truck and walked around the back to make sure nothing was burning or on fire. And when he looked back in the cab, the kid was gone, just completely gone.
Wow.
So he went around the other side of the
kid burn him up
truck
or something?
and he looked in, and the floor mat on that side has 2 footprints burnt into the floor mat.
Wow.
And so he looked around to see if he could find the kid, and he couldn't find him anywhere. And a couple minutes later, some friends of his drove by and stopped to see what, you know, if he was okay. And he asked them to help him look. And supposedly nobody could find this kid anywhere. And he didn't get the kid's name. He only got that he was 17. So it was just very strange. So when he got back to town, he actually went to the police station and reported it to the police because he thought it was so odd. And then, of course, all the news stations and stuff called him and wanted to do interviews.
Did they do pictures of the burnt feet?
Yes, there are pictures. And he took the one news crew to the actual spot where he dropped the kid off, and you could see on the road. And everybody that knows this guy, you know, talks about how nice he is. He's well known in the community. Even when he's doing the interview, people are driving by and he's waving, you know, at people as they're going by. So, and I don't think that if he was going to fake this, he would have went to the police and filed a report about this
Not
kid.
unless he just burned the kid alive and he couldn't get rid of those, you know.
Couldn't get rid of the footmark. I think there would be more evidence than just burnt footprints in the floor mat.
Well, unless he's a pro.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I mean, no, it's crazy.
It's a weird story.
It's a weird story.
It's weird.
It sounds just like one of the Catherine Hill stories, except fire instead of water.
Well, I thought the hitchhiker thing, the ghost hitchhiker, I thought that was pretty interesting.
No, it's very, very interesting.
And it is interesting that the kid asked to be dropped off at the road going down the cemetery. Like, I wonder if anybody thought to go over to the cemetery and check the...
I don't know. I got to move to Argentina. I love freaking Argentina. It's just the stories are always so nice. Like, number one, there's a lot of cool UFO sightings. Down there, right? So there's a lot of great ghost stories, and it seems like it's still a place where you can actually pick up hitchhikers, and
it's okay.
Yeah, neither one of you is going to be worried about getting killed,
right? I mean, one of them might disappear and leave burnt footprints.
Well, but that's just because it's a strange place, not because it's a bad place.
True.
So I like Argentina. I do. I've done a lot of research on that place, and I would like to. That's on my list.
Yes, I would like to go there.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've got a few more stories here. This one is kind of cool. It's a mysterious boom type story.
Oh, no.
But this one actually was a bright burst of light and a boom.
Well, yeah, that's happened. That's happened too.
And this is in Washington State.
Right.
And it was actually caught on like security cameras. Like there's video there where you can see, you don't hear the boom, but you can actually see the big bright flash of light.
I remember one in Walla Walla.
That's not this one though.
No, this was a long time ago.
Oh, I see. This is in Grays Harbor County, and apparently the officials got hundreds and hundreds of calls about the incident, claiming that there was the bright light and then the boom that shook everything.
Wow.
And, you know, they contacted the National Weather Service.
That sounds like a meteor coming in.
No severe, it does, is what I thought too.
Because of the flash.
But there was no severe weather event in the area, and there was the FAA didn't have anything, you know, all the usual channels. And it didn't mention anything about a possible meteor, and there's been no explanation for it. So
people watch superhero movies, and they're like, you know, that stuff couldn't happen. you know, like you watch The Flash, you're like,
right?
There was like this weird noise, and there was this flash of light, but it does. Like, there's this strange news exists, and you are tuned into the world of this strange news right now, each and every week with John and Stacey. It's just weird when you do listen to us for a while.
Yes.
You realize that the world's a lot weirder than you ever gave it credit for.
It is. It's so weird. Hopefully, I think they're still investigating. It just says that the officials are puzzled.
Aha!
They're puzzled.
Officials are puzzled. Not quite a shirt yet. Scientists are baffled. It's still the shirt.
Not enough officials have been puzzled yet. All right. So here's a cool story.
Not a lot of officials could like actually do a puzzle. Even like one of the big piece ones.
So this is a cool story about the world's oldest message in a bottle has been found.
Well, you know, that's kind of a. I don't like the big definites. Do you? I mean, like, there could be one out there that's not been found yet.
Right, but this is the oldest one that's been found.
Okay.
I mean, so that's definite.
Yeah.
So this was thrown in the water on June 12th, 1886 by a German soldier. And after almost 132 years, it's finally been found on an Australian beach.
That's awesome.
And they actually have pictures of it. It's like an old gin bottle. The bottle looks really cool. So I understand why they picked it up, because I totally would have grabbed that too. And so they were walking and they saw the bottle and they picked it up. And when they opened it, they saw that there was a note in there all rolled up, and it was in very faint German handwriting. And it was written in German, dated June 12th, 1886. And it stated the coordinates of where it was dropped into the sea, which was about 590 miles from the coast of the Indian Ocean. That's where it was dropped.
Wow.
And it was also noted that the sailor was on board a German ship called Paula as part of an oceanographic exploration to better understand the currents, things like that.
Yeah.
And so amazingly enough, there's actually evidence to back this up, because there is a museum that actually has the ship's logs from that ship, because they have the ship name and the date. And in the captain's log, he actually wrote that a bottle was dropped off the ship. Wow. So it's really cool that they actually have all this, concrete evidence for this bottle that was found. And so the family's loaning their find to the Western Australia Museum for like the next 2 years, so they can just put it on display. And it's actually the oldest. Before this one, the oldest one was only 108 years old.
Can you imagine if a bottle can make it that far? Okay. And we hear about them all the time, go from one coast to the other and all this stuff. Think about the pollution. Think about, like, you got Fukushima.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And the nuclear waste that goes in there. And they try to tell us it'll be okay.
Right.
But think about over time how that spreads.
That's true.
It's really crazy.
I think they feel like this probably washed up fairly quickly, but got buried in the sand. And then we've had all these storms recently and storm surges.
Just like what happened here in Maine.
And that possibly uncovered it. I mean, they don't really know, what happened. But I feel like it's been that long. It probably was a storm related kind of thing to bring it up. But very cool. You just never know what you're going to find.
No, it's awesome.
At the beach.
Anytime you're at the ocean, you really don't. You have no idea. It's just like the ships that were uncovered up here. You just never know. We walked on those ships all the time. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy. All right. So last story. This is just the story about how the Alexa things are acting really weird.
Oh, my God. They're weird.
And Amazon has actually come out with an explanation.
Okay.
And supposedly it's going to fix it. So if you don't know what's been happening, if you go online and look up creepy laugh, Alexa creepy laugh, apparently people that own the little Alexa systems, the things have just been randomly laughing a creepy laugh for no reason.
Yeah, and disobeying. And stuff.
It's freaking people out. Yeah. So later on, after people had been reporting this, Amazon came out and said that they're aware of the problem and that they're working on a fix for it. And what they say happened is that the way you make Alexa laugh, you would just say, Alexa laugh.
Right.
And they feel like there were enough things that you could say that could be misinterpreted to Alexa laugh somehow. Right. I'm not sure.
Right.
So they're changing the command to Alexa, can you laugh? And then she would say, sure, I can laugh, followed by the laugh, instead of just laughing. Now, that's the explanation. I don't know what you would say in normal conversation that's going to sound like Alexa laugh.
No.
And
a plexiglass.
It doesn't really something.
I mean,
And it doesn't really explain the other weird things with Alexa disobeying, or one person said it was just randomly started listing funeral homes.
Yeah, listing funeral homes and being,
like that.
Being just creepy and all this stuff. And it sounds like the ghosts in these houses
it's weird.
are learning how to use these Alexas. Now, really.
Right. No, I'm with you.
Just from being a paranormal investigator, we come up with some kooky stuff and the ghosts always seem to figure it out.
That's true. Well, and even if they try to use the explanation that Alexa's just mishearing things, people have had these Alexa devices for a long time. They wouldn't all of a sudden just start mishearing what you're saying.
No.
I mean, it doesn't
really
make any
strange.
sense.
I mean, it's kind of like I would like to put a black Furby off that first run of the I Want to Kill You Furbies.
Right.
And put it next to an Alexa. Leave them in a room for a while.
We got one of those Furbies.
Yeah, we did.
That was so crazy.
We did, and poor Raja.
I know. Poor little thing.
She wanted a Furby so bad. So we got her a black Furby because she's always been sort of, I want to wear black.
Right.
Do you have any black lipstick?
But the sweetest person.
In the world.
Little girl.
Yeah. Sweetest in the world. The black was more stay away from me. It was kind of like, oh, I was but tell the story about the Furby.
Oh, well, we got one for all the kids, and hers just happened to be the black one, and all the Furbies were fine.
Yeah.
All the Furbies we bought were fine, except Raja's was hateful, and it would say mean things to her, and she was so upset because she's the sweetest out of all the kids.
Yeah.
And she got the horrible, horrible Furby. I think we just got rid of it.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
No, I mean, probably knowing me and Raja,
right.
Furby probably got,
dismantled.
got the business into my foot. It reminded me the other night I looked up, I'm really into the Japanese culture, love New Japan Pro Wrestling and all this stuff. And I was looking up the surgical mask.
Right.
Because when I watched their shows or whatever, a lot of the Japanese people were wearing surgical masks all the time, right?
Yes.
And I'd heard that it was a fashion statement or whatever.
Right.
So I looked it up, and really the cool thing is it started out as, hey, if you got the flu, someone would wear it or something.
Right.
But then it got into more of a, I can't be bothered. Like if I'm wearing it, I don't have to worry about smiling at you. It's less likely that you're going to...
Hey, that's an idea.
Yeah, less likely that you're going to stop and ask me for conversation or something because, the whole mask is on and everything.
Right.
It's very cool. Now, they said that's an exception because Japanese culture, they're so nice.
Right,
And it's so, but there are people...
Well, I mean, think of how nice you have to be to wear a mask if you're sick.
Yeah.
They don't do that in America. They just let their kids cough on you.
Oh, yeah. Just go to Walmart.
Just
it's like
cough on their hands and then touch you and
they
stuff.
don't even talk. It makes me so mad. But yeah, anyway, that just brought that to my mind.
Well, that was all my news.
Well, all right. That's quite a few stories.
It was.
It was quite a few interesting stories.
Yes, I thought
Sorry,
so.
I went off on a little tangent a few times.
That's okay. That makes it interesting.
Well, does it?
Yes.
Is that what it makes it?
Yes, I try to get the stories that make you go off on a tangent.
Well, you normally can. It's
not hard.
It's not very. It's not.
hard.
It's not a very long trip, to really get me going and get me all animated and stuff. But speaking of animation, ParanormalSideshow.com. That's your place to find everything animate. I don't know.
It's okay.
Facebook.com/Paranormal Sideshow. More animation. Not really. Still don't know. On the Twitter, it's at Sideshow97. There's no animation there.
There you go.
On Instagram, Hot Animation Damn. It's John and Stacey Edwards. YouTube.com/Paranormal Sideshow. That's where you can go find everything Paranormal Sideshow. We also got links up on ParanormalSideshow.com for the store, where you can go and buy yourself a cool little Scientist or Baffled t-shirt or one of our many #Believer t-shirts that, we got a lot of like Bigfoot, UFOs, all the stuff that we hashtag our believers.
And we will be adding more designs.
Absolutely.
Very soon.
Absolutely. And please, if you haven't done so, go follow us on Twitter. And go like us or follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. Means a whole lot. And also, I will say, if you are listening on iHeartRadio, you want to listen on Stitcher, maybe you want to listen on Google, maybe you want to listen on iTunes, maybe you want to listen on Spotify. However you want to listen, that's how you can, folks, because that's where we're going to be looking at you and hiding and thinking that we know your name. We know your name. We know your name. Sorry, I was just thinking of that
That's creepy.
little movie we watched last night. Little Veronica. Of course, it didn't say that, but man, she should have. I tell you what, I can't wait till next week because next week we're gonna have another show, and it's gonna be some crazy stuff happening this week.
Is.
We haven't heard from in a while.
Who?
The Blast Me into Space guy.
Oh yeah, I'll have to check on him.
He's
See
like,
what he's up to.
He's like the Cash Me Outside girl. He's like the Cash Me in Space guy. He was like the little viral guy there for a few days.
Yep.
For my lovely wife Stacey. My name's John. So long from the Sideshow.
Good night.